Okay, former CIA director John Brennan is throwing a pretty big tantrum against President Trump. It seems that the former CIA director potentially pretty nervous about what President Trump might be have potentially planned, possibly against Brennan and Comey and some of these others that have been leading this hoax investigation, as the president has described it. John Brennan has been trying to take down the president basically since the election. Now it looks like the tables are starting to turn. There's a few different signs and other people commenting on this recently. It's not just John Brennan that looks nervous. You also have Adam Schiff claiming that Trump is conspiring with the new attorney general, and the new attorney general, William Barr, has been also being attacked by all angles from Democrats, other people trying to protect Hillary Clinton, people like John Podesta trying to attack the attorney general, William Barr as well. Adam Schiff claiming that the president's conspiring with Barr, saying investigating Russiagate origins is un-American. Basically, the fact that President Trump wants to look into this spying that was done against him and members of his campaign. People from the Obama administration spied on President Trump and members of his campaign. President Trump says that he has documents about this. He wants to look into the origins of it. More comments just in the last from this week from Adam Schiff, saying that Schiff wanted. They're pointing out the hypocrisy in this article, saying that isn't it pretty hypocritical that Adam Schiff had previously wanted Obama to declassify certain Russia documents, but now that Trump has said that everything will be declassified. He's basically said the attorney general is going to declassify everything, including the origins going back to the Democrats and this illegal spying campaign they were running. Well, that's un-American, according to Adam Schiff. So Schiff wanted Obama to declassify these Russia documents, but if Trump declassifies documents, it's un-American, apparently, according to Adam Schiff, saying Thursday President Donald Trump's decision to declassify information related to the origins of the Russia probe was un-American just more than 2 years ago. However, Schiff called on then President Barack Obama, they point out, to declassify some of the very same information, maybe not all of the information, though, that actually exposes the Democrats. Other intelligence agencies involved as well. Interesting, this recent resignation from Theresa May. I brought this up on my last video, just pointing out the timing of this. Theresa May started crying almost during her resignation. Probably have seen the video of that just from this week as well. Interesting, Donald Trump's follow-up to Theresa May's resignation, and also tying in with these new documents that he's going to be declassifying, and Brennan is already freaking out over. Brennan made a bunch of social posts today online, again attacking the president, but in addition to Brennan, also you have British intelligence, their involvement in spying on Trump. That is something that President Trump says that he still wants answers for. It looks like the president said, almost in a coded way, maybe kind of a warning to Theresa May, in a sense that her resigning is not going to get her off the hook completely. Donald Trump has said that he still wants answers. He wants to confront Theresa May still. New article just from today responding to the resignation. Trump says he still wants to ask Theresa May about, quote, these rumors that the UK was involved in the Russian hoax. And that's how it's described. But Trump has a lot more documents. And there's already been evidence, again, further supporting that. Mainstream media sources have been trying to deny it, but there's President Trump has a lot more to confirm this, going back a few more months in the lead up to these documents that will further confirm, again, what President Trump has been saying about UK intelligence's involvement here too. A few months back, they were saying Britain's MI6 was horrified at President Trump's plan to declassify details of FBI's Carter Page wiretap. And then again, just interesting, the timing here. Just in the last week, we had more news about this, that Theresa May's spy chiefs were briefed on the Steele dossier before President Trump, and they claim here Theresa May is trying to say that she didn't know about it at the time, about this dossier, but that is very likely something that, again, President Trump will ask Theresa May about. They will be meeting before she officially resigns, so she still will have to answer for all of that. The president has confirmed just recently, just after her resignation that's just happened. John Brennan, we'll look at his comments. It's interesting that, again, just in the last couple of weeks, Trey Gowdy responding to what's going on currently with John Brennan and Comey and the dossier, some of the information about their involvement with that has been made public. John Brennan, he's saying, according to Trey Gowdy, John Brennan is in more dossier trouble than Comey. Former U.S. Representative Trey Gowdy said they started pointing fingers at each other about this dossier just in the last couple of weeks. Neither of them wants to own up to being behind it, which is kind of an interesting shift. Again, they were sort of on the same side before, Brennan and Comey. Now they're starting to turn on each other. Looks like they could both be in trouble over this, but Gowdy's saying that John Brennan probably in more trouble out of the two. These are the comments from today. Again, this recent article just from the last couple of hours, and they're pointing to some online media posts. John Brennan getting a lot of criticism actually online for even commenting on this. Former CIA Director John Brennan and former DNI James Clapper blasted President Trump on Friday night for directing Attorney General William Barr to declassify documents related to surveillance of his campaign during the 2016 election. He's calling it outrageous. Quote here, this was on MSNBC. So Brennan said this during an interview. He said, quote, "I see it as a very, very serious and outrageous move on the part of Mr. Trump, once again trampling on the statutory authorities of the Director of National Intelligence and the heads of the independent intelligence agencies," Brennan told MSNBC host Chris Hayes. He went on to say, quote, "And it's unclear to me what Mr. Barr is actually going to do." This part of the quote is really interesting, given, again, the whole investigation against Trump. All the only charges that have been brought down through that investigation have nothing to do with these original collusion claims that they were brought up. Look at what John Brennan is saying now of Trump saying that he's going to turn the tables and investigate the Democrats. Just steeped in hypocrisy, this upcoming statement here. Look at this quote. He says, it's from John Brennan. He says, "And it's unclear to me what Mr. Barr is actually going to do. Is he investigating a crime? Well, what's the predication of that crime? Or is he just going to be looking for information that Mr. Trump can just give to his defenders on the right and cherry pick information that could be taken out of context, as if that hasn't been exactly what they've been doing for the last 2 years on the other side?" Now Brennan's saying, well, is Mr. Barr, is he investigating a specific crime? He's just going to find information that's going to be... So Brennan obviously knows that there's information that will make him look very bad, and it looks like he's trying to get out ahead of this. But again, the fact that he's setting it up on this way and without any kind of sense of irony or anything is really just makes it even that much more ridiculous. Brennan made more comments, saying Brennan expressed concern about exposing, quote, sources and methods, as well as the intelligence of, quote, partners abroad. So that's possible reference to... It's been other intelligence agencies that have been involved here, but the main one being talked about, Foreign Intelligence Agency, is the UK's involvement. So Brennan possibly concerned, again, about his deep state friends in the UK, Theresa May's spy chiefs, partners abroad. He's saying he's expressing concern for them if President Trump declassifies these documents, what that might mean for the deep state. Quote here, another quote says, "This is very serious," Brennan went on to say, "and I know that my former colleagues in the intelligence agencies are looking upon this with great concern and worry." So Brennan's admitting that intelligence agencies are worried about this. Former top Obama official had stated. He later said he hopes that DNI Dan Coats and CIA director, the current CIA director, will, quote, stand up to President Trump's unprecedented act. He's also made this post again from today, just on social media. Brennan slammed President Trump on Twitter after the president shared a political cartoon mocking the former CIA director, former DNI Clapper, and FBI director James Comey. And again, this kind of some of these signals that they're starting to panic and are actually just literally pointing fingers at each other now over the dossier. This was a cartoon that Donald Trump shared late yesterday. John Brennan, after that, responded saying, "Young people everywhere, do not emulate Mr. Trump's very immature behavior. Find others of honesty, integrity, and decency to be your role models, and always try to do what you know is the right thing, even when doing what is right is both unpopular and difficult." That's Brennan's response to President Trump, sharing pretty spot on cartoon here, actually. So that was, they again reference that quote, and they just close off here saying, meanwhile, Clapper told CNN's Anderson Cooper that the, quote, bigger issue, according to James Clapper, is what exactly is the scope of the declassification, whether it involves all of Russia's interference in the election or just the counterintelligence probe. He expressed similar concerns as Brennan regarding sources and methods being exposed and putting people's lives at risk. He's putting the CIA at risk, other agencies. That's what Clapper's claiming is going to happen if these documents are released. Clapper also looks worried about these. Clapper is now they point out that Clapper now is also a CNN analyst. He's an analyst for CNN. Clapper has insisted that the infamous Steele dossier was not used as sourcing for the intelligence community assessment in January 2017. And I guess there's been all kinds of contradictory claims recently by Comey and Brennan and Clapper. Seems like they can't keep their stories straight between the three of them. They all kind of have different stories now. It looks like they might actually be signals again that they might be turning on each other and getting nervous, just trying to protect themselves individually now, as the whole narrative that they've been pushing has kind of come crashing down, and even more will be exposed as these documents are coming out. They're talking about Attorney General set to declassify even more documents. Interesting reactions to this so far. Some of this info not even released yet. We're waiting for more documents to actually be dropped from the Attorney General, but definitely seems to be more signs. Again, been talking last few videos about people looking kind of panicked. It's different signs that might be going on. Patreon.com/realityreader is where you can support this channel. Help me continue reporting on these issues. I will do a follow-up as more info comes out. You can also support the channel at paypal.me/realityreader. Both links are in the video description, and a link to the original article you can look at in full. Tell me what you think, and I will follow up soon. Thank you.